Trying to add those last few players to your team before Madden 21 drops. Avoid the packs, save the racks, use code CC now, 25% off. Madden 20, Madden 20. Ooh, what a ride it was for us all. But a lot of people fall on having a pretty strong opinion on the game one way or another. And I'm here to tell you why, in my opinion, Madden 20 was the best game ever and the worst. Somehow it was both. So when we talk like this about Madden 20 or any video game, you have your own opinion and you're going to form your own opinion based on your own experience, right? And a lot of times when we talk about Madden 20, I just want to talk about the gameplay itself, not the MUT content or the features in the game or Superstar KO, but just the gameplay. And what makes me and others think that the game was really, really bad. And what it really is to me is a how broken the game feels at times, and B, when you feel like a lesser player than yourself can beat you. Not rarely, but occasionally. Not even half the time, but that's where it falls, and that's how it goes. And so you rate a game based on your enjoyment level of it. How did I do? Did my win percentage change from a previous year? Was this the year I was the best at Madden? Was this year I was the worst at Madden? And I look at it and I think, okay, if I compared my records from Madden 18, 19, and 20 through Weekend League at least, right? I feel like I was basically the same, honestly, win-wise throughout the year. Pretty close. It was pretty close. Not a big difference. And I didn't really love those games, but I liked them a little bit better than 20. So why do I feel that way? And it's because at certain points during the games, even games you win, your frustration level just hits, and it's annoying. And it was a lot to do with the run game. But that being said, while I really dislike the gameplay at times, I did not always have fun playing the game. Never mind just losing, but when you were winning the games and you won games, you didn't have fun sometimes. That brings the grade down. So it's not I sucked at the game, so I don't like it. I was basically the exact same. My winning percentage was the same, but I still didn't like it. And I was still winning at a pretty high percentage. And it just boils down to the way that the game plays, the mechanics of the game. There's not one thing I can say, if this was fixed, Madden 20 would be good. Or great, or anything like that. There's a lot of different features. But what made it the best game, and not necessarily the best game to me, because I obviously don't think that, but the best Madden game to EA. This was undoubtedly the most popular Madden game of all time. And that is the truth, and those are facts. From the people who bought the game, to the time people interacted in the game and all that. Why is that a thing? Well, there's a couple reasons. One, Superstar KO, I think, brought a lot of casuals in. But again, it's its own sort of thing. It's a feature. It's a kind of a streety feature of the game, but didn't seem to take off to me. Maybe it did, but not to me. But the abilities definitely helped, and they brought a lot of enjoyment and difference in the game. And one thing that I've always wanted is consistency in Madden, and those abilities, they kind of gave you that consistency. Maybe too much, right? We want you want your receivers to catch the ball. Well, if they were ability, they were always going to catch the ball. If you wanted a perfect pass, you had to do this. If you wanted a better chance at fumbles, you had to do this. If you wanted a better pass rush, etc. So the abilities brought a level of consistency to 6 players on the field at a time, which was good. We may have been very mad at it at times, and I was too. I'm not a saint by any stretch, But what it did was it brought in a lot of people enjoying that part, the team building part, the aspect of using these abilities. It was kind of fun at times. I think the abilities were good. I know a lot of people didn't want abilities back. We know that they're back to Madden 21. You need to embrace it, essentially. But to me, even if the abilities were fun, if people are losing at a high clip, they're not going to keep playing. But people kept playing the game. And that's because they were winning. So with the introduction of how running was and how abilities were, it took the skill gap from I'm going to call it an average player. An average player is someone who wins one, loses one, wins one, loses one. You know, that's your 12 to 13 win player in weekend league. That's your average player who doesn't make it all the way up in the MUT seasons rankings, whose record is 403.85 at the end of the year, something like that, right? You took that average player, you gave them these tools, lessened the skill gap, not a lot even, right? It's because the better players are still the better players, but you took the skill gap from here and you moved it to here. And that means that person now wins a little more games. They feel like they've improved. They feel like you've gotten better at the game. If you feel like you're better at the game, you're going to play the game more. You're more intrigued. You're more interested. You're trying to get better. You want to win more. And that's what Madden 20 did. It brought a bunch of new people into the game from the features. And they were able to win at a decent rate from the get-go. It took a lot of those players who normally they play, they don't win a lot. At a certain point, they just get frustrated and leave. Those people actually stayed around for a lot longer, boosting the engagement and making it the best Madden ever. Now, not the best from a gameplay standpoint, because I'm talking about it, my personal experience as a gameplay perspective. The best perspective comes from how many people really enjoyed playing it. You know, as much as we want to complain about stretch and run blocking, you know who was running stretch and all that? The average player, Joe Casual, you know, that guy. He ran a lot of the ball and he enjoyed it. He won more. Maybe he won a Super Bowl this year. Maybe he came close to top 100 in weekend league. And while we didn't enjoy the gameplay experience all the time, sometimes you do. It's actually good for the game to get more people playing, obviously. The more people that play, the more money that goes into Madden. The more money that goes into Madden, the more they can fix the game. Now, the way that the game played this year, again, there was the abilities, which was very intentional, and I don't think EA knew how they all really operated and how they really worked, and they sort of just had to go by it. We saw how many times abilities got patched and changed, whereas the run game didn't actually get patched and changed. EA did not intend for this to be a running game. I firmly believe that. I feel that they just sort of fell in their lap. It fell in their lap, and luckily for them, they didn't know how to fix it. I believe they tried. I believe in my heart that they tried, because they knew what was wrong. And if you read the Madden 21 notes, they basically said, hey, guys, we know it was bad. We know it was bad. But why wasn't the game fixed? Well, at a certain point when they were probably trying to fix it early on, be like, oh my God, everyone hates this. The way the game looks on TV is not a good thing. Nobody is passing the ball. This looks bad. But eventually, as they're trying to fix it, and they're like, well, I don't know, these numbers are pretty good too. Did you see the numbers from the corner? They look good. So why would EA go in that direction? You ride the horse until that horse cannot ride anymore. And that's where Madden 21 comes in. A lot of the same features are going to be in Madden 21. There's not a whole lot contextually different in the games, and that's why a lot of us feel like it feels like a patch instead of a new game. And why I'm okay with that is because it makes me feel Like, they've been working on this patch for a long time. They know what they want the game. They want the game to be more balanced, of course. But they also need the game to favor not the 1%, but the 99%. And I think they're probably going to do a very good job of that again. Does not mean that Madden 21 is going to be the best game ever. It does not mean that the casuals are going to love it. It does not mean that the diehards are going to love it. We don't know until we get our hands on the game. When we played the beta last year, we pointed out issues with the game, and EA addressed some of it and didn't address some of it. But we didn't know the direction the game was going to go in. Every time that something has been really triggering to the vocal majority, which again what happened this year, we got change. This year we didn't get that change. In fact, when there was run defense that was found, which just dominated stretch, EA took that away. Said, no. We need this in the game. How does EA catch lightning in a bottle again this year? From an engagement perspective, I don't know. We don't know, obviously. I don't think they know. Again, I think they fell into what happened. But we want a better gameplay. We want more enjoyable gameplay. That balance of pleasing us all, I don't envy them. I don't envy them at all. But I hope they can do something with it. I hope they can make it work. I hope Madden 21 can be great. I feel like the gameplay has to be better this year. Accidentally. We'll see. Worst game ever? Best game ever? I don't know. But 21? I'll see you in 2 months, buddy. I'm gonna judge the shit out of you. Oh, I'm gonna judge it so hard.